The night my phone rang, my hand was shaking before I even answered. The doctor's voice was calm, too calm, as if he wasn't about to split my life in half. "Your daughter needs a procedure within days," he said. "Without it, we can't guarantee anything." I stared at my sleeping child, her chest rising softly, and knew I would beg, crawl, do anything. I just didn't know the people I would beg were my own parents, and that they would say no. I called them at dawn. I explained everything in one breath, the hospital estimate, the urgency, the number that echoed like a curse, $95,000. I reminded them of the trust fund they'd always bragged about, the family safety net. There was a pause. Then my mother sighed, annoyed. My father cleared his throat. "That's a lot," he said. "Have you tried fundraising?" My mother added, "These things are unpredictable. We can't throw money at every crisis." I hung up numb, then called again. And again. I sent documents, doctor notes, timelines. Each time, the answer hardened. "We have to be careful. It sets a precedent. Your brother needs support too." My brother, 32, healthy, ambitious, always favored. The golden child who never heard no. 3 days later, while I was sitting on a hospital bench calculating how many years it would take to sell everything I owned, my cousin sent me a photo. My brother stood in front of a half-built luxury house, arm around my parents, champagne glasses raised. The caption read, "So proud of you. $250,000 well spent. Our son deserved the best." My vision went white. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Something colder settled in my chest. I realized then that begging would never work, because this wasn't about money. It was about worth. And in their eyes, my daughter didn't have enough of it. So I stopped asking. I sold my car. I emptied my savings. I took a brutal loan with interest that made my stomach turn. Friends I hadn't spoken to in years showed up with envelopes and quiet hugs. Strangers donated after a single post went semi-viral. It was messy, humiliating, exhausting, but we made it. The surgery happened. When I saw my daughter open her eyes afterward, alive, I promised her something silently. No one would ever make her feel disposable again. My parents sent a text weeks later. "Glad it worked out," my mother wrote. "We were worried." No apology, no acknowledgement, just relief that they wouldn't have to feel guilty. That's when I began my revenge. Not loud, not cruel, but surgical. I gathered every message, every bank statement, every photo of that house. I spoke to a lawyer, then a financial advisor. Turns out the family trust wasn't as untouchable as my parents claimed, and a lot of it was built using money that legally should have been split among siblings years ago, including me. I waited at my brother's housewarming party. Guests admired marble counters and imported fixtures. My parents glowed with pride. When the speeches started, my father raised his glass to family values and always being there for each other. That's when I stood up. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I told a story about a phone call at dawn, about a number, $95,000, about being told to be careful and not set a precedent. I showed screenshots on the big screen my brother had rented for a slideshow of his success. The room went silent as the photo of the $250,000 transfer appeared. Then I finished with facts. Legal ones. The trust review. The reallocation. The frozen accounts pending investigation. My mother dropped her glass. My brother's smile collapsed. My father tried to speak, but there was nothing to say. In the weeks that followed, the house was sold to cover legal settlements. My share came through. I paid off the loan that nearly crushed me and set up a fund in my daughter's name, ironclad, untouchable, only for her future. My parents don't call anymore. My brother says I overreacted. Maybe. But every night when I tuck my daughter in and she smiles at me, healthy and safe, I know the truth. They chose where their money went. I chose where justice did.